Please help me welcome Adriane Berg.
How many of you feel so much younger than you thought you would at your age? Hands up. I want to see that. Look around. How many people occasionally feel like they're getting older and they get that little pinch and they say, oh, I'm having a senior moment? And how many people have both at the same time? Well, that's the truth about aging. Look, I'm 70 and some parts of me are still good. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, let's get this next slide up. Okay, aging as a process, what it really means to age. And you're actually going to learn some science tonight when it comes to that. No, we're going to talk about that you can control your aging. You can control your aging. You will soon learn that only 1/3, even less, of how you live in your 80s and 90s and how long you live have to do with your genetics. Most of it has to do with you and how you've chosen to live. But the most inspiring part of all this is that we're also going to be talking about how you can inspire others. I'm looking around here and I can say already you are people who inspire others because you've come here, because you do take care of your finances and you do care about your own future. So that's just the beginning. And by the way, how many of you, I've heard that many of you have come to this venue before. I've never done that. Have you been to the aquarium before in Denver? And it was great. I got picked up by a fish. This is the only place I've ever been where next door to my speaking venue is a bar. And there was a fish. He was giving me the fish eye. He asked me, he said, what's your sign? I said Aquarius. Now we're dating. So anything can happen at any time in your life. But I want to show you something about the great state of Colorado. Great state of Colorado. This is a map of aging in the entire United States in the year 2005. And if you can see Colorado, you'll see it's white. You see how your state is white? What does that mean? It was one of the youngest states, right? So, you know, people over the age of 55, there's only 5 to 10% of your state. Now, don't blink. 2025, are you ready? Hello. Dark green, you're the same as the great state of Florida. I'm telling you, it's all coming. So when we talk about our own aging, which we will be speaking about tonight, and things that you can do to be healthier and happier, remember that you're part of an enormous movement. You really have to understand that America is aging. What is the future of longevity? Well, in 1900, there were 3 million people over the age of 65. Around the time that we had Social Security, there were about 9 million people over the age of 65. Now, in the year 2050, 82 million over the age of 65. Fastest growing demographic, you will see, people over the age of 85 and people over the age of 100. So when you think about finance, which we're actually not going to talk much about tonight, and you say, will we have Social Security, you understand what the problem is. The problem is that if you go to YouTube and you see FDR talk about enacting Social Security, he's going to say he's very proud of it. There are 3 million people that are going to be covered. So money is one of the major issues of our growing longevity. But I don't want you to be afraid of it.